Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to just look in at Lily and Jack's case again. Lily and Jack Sullivan, who went missing from Nova Scotia back on May 2nd. So I did 3 spreads here and I'm still getting about the same information. I'm getting that somebody picked them up. But in this spread, it's like there was a concern. There was a community concern and somebody like in some sort of position of power help to facilitate this. Now, the odd thing for me is the storyline, because part of this also points to an involvement by a parent, a blood parent, which would be allegedly the mother. We'll see in a future spread that there was an arrangement made for someone to kind of come in and the kids would be passed off, there would be money received, and the kids would end up in a better situation with a married couple, because that married couple keeps coming up in these spreads. It also came up in the first reading. So in the first reading, I felt like it was a bloodline connection, somebody that likely on the father's side maybe, or mother's side, but there was a bloodline connection who was responsible for this. I described the person as tall, skinny, a tint to the skin, a low cut, like a Caesar cut hair, almost like salt and pepper, but mostly white hair. Again, fairly attractive, but older, tall, and again, tint to the skin. This was a bloodline connection, relative, and so forth. But here, it's like, so we see change, now if I'm reading the cards vertically, it's change, message, toil and labor, adjudication, imprisonment, courthouse, community, pathways, marriage, thought, official person, despair, poverty, thief, and unexpected income. So what I'm getting is like, and that's very much possible. There are people who are looking at the property and where they lived, and they feel that, maybe the kids were living in squalor or what have you. All assumptions, right? So maybe somebody on the outside saw something, relayed, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of room to speculate, and a lot of people are doing that. I do feel like, that there was a plan. This was planned, and it came from somebody being bothered by the kid's conditions or the kid's situation. Okay, so let's go to the next spread and see. Before we do that, let me just read these horizontally for you, okay? So change, adjudication, community, thoughts, poverty, message. That tells me a plan was enacted. Excuse me. Change, adjudication means trying to figure out a solution, trying to come to an agreement or, figure something out. Community members. Thoughts, poverty, and message tells me about a plan. Imprisonment. And then we have pathways, official person. Pathways could be literally in the forest, or it could mean like a long distance. There's several meanings for this card, but I'm taking it as long distance because at the end of this reading, I'm going to tell you what I've seen as my impression since the first reading. So pathways, official person, thief, toil and labor, courthouse, marriage. Again, the courthouse thing came up in the first spread, despair, and unexpected income. So let's get to the next spread and see what we have there. So in this spread, horizontally, we have message, high honor, sudden wealth, poverty, gift, privileged lady, false person, unexpected income, and again, marriage. And then reading vertically, it's message, poverty, false person, high honor, gift, unexpected income, sudden wealth, privileged lady, and marriage. So this is where I'm kind of getting the feeling like a parent was involved. Privileged lady may be perceived as allegedly Malaya. And again, it's talking about money, getting money, maybe even somebody being betrayed in this, maybe, this person will not or hasn't received what they thought they were going to get from this exchange. But what I really want to comment on with this situation is that I just feel like, I don't know, the timeline is I think that deserves to be looked at again, because if this was indeed an arranged pickup, meaning a parent was involved in these children being picked up and taken somewhere else to live with somebody else permanently or for some time, and in return there was money received, then I would have to question, like, the morning of that it was reported. Could they have disappeared the day before, or you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think that we would need to look at this. The married couple or the marriage, as well as other key cards, message, poverty, thoughts, community, those cards are common in this. And that tells me that there was a plan, that there was somebody in the community, or community meaning like family or extended family, that was concerned. The other thing is it possible that Malaya could have wanted out of the domestic partnership? And did she do this before? Like, as far as like just bailing on a relationship and saying, well, their biological father isn't in the picture. And here I have another baby by another person that maybe I don't want to be with because I understand that they broke up, the guy that she was living with. Could this just have been something that was planned and she just kind of wanted to offload the children in a way that she thought wouldn't be harmful, or that everyone would benefit from the situation, and then she could just leave, which is what she did. I guess there was a fight or argument. They accused, and then the stepfather, which I never got anything on, that was negative, could have been looked at crazy, everybody blaming the dad, or the stepfather, and it could have given her the look of a clean break from the situation. So, if that was the plan, then I could buy that easily. But again, I do believe that, their disappearance was at the hands of somebody that's a blood relative. So yeah, so let's move on to the next spread. So again, we have official person, and we're going vertically. Thief, great fortune, main female, poverty, false person again, message, bad health, family room, thoughts, house, mature man, and then we're going to go horizontal, which is official person, main female, which I would perceive to be Malaya, allegedly, message, thoughts, thief. Okay, so thoughts of stealing or removing the children, and poverty representing the children or how they're perceived. It doesn't mean that they look dirty or are living in squalor, but there could be a perception around the family situation and the children that could be depressing, or bad health could symbolize as well that there are cycles, that there's a desire to be broken. So there's a desire to break a cycle of like poverty, of like, dysfunctional family, of making bad choices and then bringing children into these bad choices. So that's kind of like what I'm getting from this, is that this is why the plan was enacted. I'm thinking that it was to give the kids a better chance. And so at a family, at a future, and so this could have been why a plan was enacted, allegedly. So, okay, thief, poverty, bad health, house, okay, great fortune, false person, family room, mature man. All right. So again, this tells me the same thing. Same thing. Now, I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong, but this is what I'm getting. I'm getting that allegedly mom wanted to either break a cycle or break patterns that are unhealthy. You're having these babies, you're not staying with the person, you're not happy at all. And did she somehow stumble onto an opportunity to maybe allow the children to, be taken someplace? And did somebody in the family, maybe on one side or the other, pick up the children and help to facilitate this? And was she going to be compensated for this? And the false person is somebody telling lies or being deceptive, or, not being forthcoming regarding the family room. Mature man, this is an older man, like I told you guys before, this is the individual I see. So, I don't want to be redundant, but you guys, will clearly understand what I see and feel about this. Now, so let me get into the impression. The impression is that I just saw the kids being taken out of the province, that they're alive, they're well, there's nothing wrong with them. They're the intention is to bring them someplace where they're going to be raised well and they're going to be well taken care of. And, whoever planned this, if I'm right, okay, if I'm right, whoever planned this planned it really well. Okay. The fact that, the search is limited, you know what I mean? They've limited it to a certain amount of kilometers or miles or whatever. They've boxed it in. There was no Amber Alert, so it's, some of these things are interesting to me. And in terms of how easy it could be for somebody to kidnap a kid or children, no Amber Alert, limited search area. The dogs lost the scent at the road, which means somebody picked them up at the road. And it's quite obvious. And then she gets up, she leaves, breaks up with the guy she was with, that she had been with for a couple of years. If he was going to hurt the kids, somebody at school would have known. Lily would have said something. She would have shown some kind of behavior. So would Jack. I don't get anything on the stepfather. I think that this is so you guys know what I think again. But I saw them leaving. I don't believe they're in the province. I don't think they're in the province, and I think that this is something that had been planned, and she was assisted, and whoever picked up the kids was assisted. So that's what I'm getting, guys. I guess we'll wait and see what happens, but just wanted to give you an updated gloss over. Just felt compelled to do some cards and see what came out. So I will see you guys in the next video. Please like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching. Take care.